Thanks for joining me on the Chasing Planes podcast. I'll be your guide on today's ride. I'm BraedenV. Our season 2 lifts off with special guest Biggz, who joins the show via phone call. Biggz is a recording artist, producer, rapper, a man of many hats like myself. Biggz has worked in emergency rooms and music studios and is calling in from California to talk about music and his journey. Here's a clip of his feature verse in Big Ren's track, Ren's Revenge, and then we'll get to the call.
Yes. Bring the boards, all the time that's on the regular. One shot, one kill, remember what I said to you. Wrestle with the demons at night, just like a wrestler. Heating up the temperature, cropping like an editor. Bitch, I'm far out of this world, like a predator. Where are my competitors? I don't think I have much. Clock hit 0, shoot a 3, man, I am clutch. Untouchable and who want what? I'm a murder rap whack, is enough is enough.
I don't mind just chopping it up with people about music or life, whatever, it's pretty cool. I was at the beginning, I was doing voice tags for podcasts and songs and beats and stuff like that too. So just all around thing, man, artist, producer, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to be everywhere, omnipresent.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially these days, as an artist, you kind of have to be a jack of all trades. It seems like.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So did you start off just beat making or rapping, or how'd you kind of start off doing this thing?
So I started off I got some turntables, Serato. Standing turntables and some Newmark speakers. Probably in high school. I wanted to be a battle DJ at first, so I'd mess around in my room or whatever.
Okay.
And from there, I kind of sold that. Got more interested in I've always rapped too on top of that, but I got more interested in rapping. I had a group of people in school or whatever. We would kick it and record at my buddy's house, or they'll come over here or whatever. And we would record, man, make a couple little projects or whatever. And then, as years go on, you start kind of drifting away. And I always just had music, man. I just always had that passion. So I'm man, I'm still taking it serious. I was doing music and still living life, doing my job, working, working and stuff like that on top of that. But I always had music there. So I got more serious with it in probably junior year, senior in high school, and pretty much I haven't stopped since.
That's awesome, man. And so here's a question I got, because I started making music during the pandemic, the lockdowns and all that stuff. How did the pandemic and the lockdown affect your music creation and stuff like that?
It didn't really affect me. I was still going hard as the same amount as I was before.
That's good. Yeah, because I found a lot of artists. It was either that period really gave them a lot more time to work on stuff, or in my case, it was exactly that. I always used to put off my music, saying I never had time until the pandemic, and I was stuck in my house, and I was like, all right, well, it's time to get to work, kind of thing, So I thought,
sure. Yeah, a lot of people started doing things they wouldn't have done with all that downtime.
Exactly, yeah. So you kind of told me a bit about how you started, kind of thing. Who inspired you to start? Was it a person in your life, or was it just hearing other artists that you liked? And if so, who were those people, kind of thing?
You talking about artist wise or producer wise, or? Yeah,
influence wise, just anything that anybody that helped kind of get you kind of wanting to do it.
Cause I'm from California, man. So all the West Coast music really influenced me when I was younger. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Exhibit. Even though he's from he's from Albuquerque, but we treat him like he's from LA and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Got that West Coast.
Yeah, pretty much that. Really, it was really a lot of West Coast influence, but I do like Eminem as well, even on his production too.
Yeah. Yeah, Eminem's actually a bit of an underrated producer, even, I've heard. He's got a couple songs where he's made beats and stuff, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of them think he's just a lyricist, but...
And then recently it's Russ. I really like how he does his own thing, too.
Russ
writing.
Russ is brilliant, bro. He drops so much game, too. I just listening to that dude talk about music industry. He's so smart.
Yeah.
And a lot of...
It was crazy, because I actually met him in an airport, bro, a few years back in Texas. I can send you the video after the call.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Because I'm really into law of attraction. I'm not sure if you heard that or not.
Yep.
Manifestation. But we're just pretty much bumping his music in Texas, right? So I was going out there to visit my son. He lives out there with his mom. So cousins take that a visit. Excuse me. He came down to visit, and you know, in my mind, I'm like, that'd be cool to run into somebody famous or just like see somebody or something, you know. In my mind, I'm like, that'd be cool. Like, not necessarily Russ, like didn't pop into my head, but like we're just really bumping his music. I'm like, oh, like I was pretty much feeling the songs, and I was pretty new at the time, and lo and behold, bro, like maybe like 30 minutes in, like I'm waiting for my flight, and I see somebody walking that had like a rosary tattoo. I'm not sure what arm it's on, left or right on him, but I'm like, that looks like Russ, like in my head, right? So I'm like, let me Google it to make sure it's really him, like with the tattoos and stuff. And sure enough, it was him. I found him. Like I lost him, but I found him inside the airport, and I called out his name and like kind of like signaled him like to come down here this way, like kind of to talk real quick. And he was like by himself, bro, like just down to talk. We talked for like maybe 15 minutes about music, and I wanted to tell him I rap too, but I don't want to be that kind of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to like kind of force yourself too much onto him, kind of thing, or anything. Like, yeah.
Right. I didn't want to make it like weird or anything like that, but since then, like, there's been a lot of like open verse challenges on TikTok, and one of his buddies, Biggz, did an open verse challenge. I was working in the hospital in El Paso, and I wrote to one of his open verse challenges. I did it after my night shift right here in the ER, the emergency room or whatever. And I did that. Maybe like a week later, Biggz posted his number on like TikTok. Like it was like a fan number or whatever. So I wasn't even expecting him to pick up, but I'm like, let me just give it a shot. Like the worst thing that happen, he's not going to pick up, right? Like, it is what it is. So like I actually called him, and like he actually picked up, which tripped me out. So we actually talked for maybe like, I don't know, like 10 minutes or so. This was before the European tour that they had. And then since then, like one of their guys that does like their videography that they met through Twitter, Steve Molez, I believe his name is. I wrestled him, met him through Twitter, and that's the videographer. And like he started following me on Instagram. Like we'd be DMing during their tour and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
That's dope.
How it all came in a circle,
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and you know, it's funny, like, you know, small world type stuff in a way too. Like, you know, you're bumping Russ's music, he's in your head. Sure enough, you see him. You're like you say, there is a bit of like a law of attraction thing going on there almost. Yeah, for sure. That's cool. And yeah, like I said, I'm a big Russ fan, especially in terms of like his musical, his knowledge.
Book, man, I don't know if it's read his book or not, but the book's good too.
His book is great, actually. Yeah, I actually had a friend who kind of put me on to Russ a couple of years ago. Give me the book, and I loved it. I'm really impressed by like how you can just kind of open it up, and it doesn't matter what page it is, you can kind of get something from it. It's cool that way. Yeah. So what kind of equipment do you use for your like for what you do? I see you consistently post like that. I was looking through your stuff, and I was like, man, this guy's always got something. Whether it's like you said, the TikTok open verses, or like some beats you're making and stuff. It seems like you're always in the studio.
Yeah, man. Just like because I do everything on my laptop too, and like because I work the night shift, so I have a lot of downtime. So like while working, I'm working kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just take that to an advantage, and I'm using just Reaper, and there's a thing called Soundtrap where it's pretty much like loops. Yeah. Like at first I was kind of against loops. I'm like, man, like I've always been like the old school MPC, but that was before I started producing, right? So I'm like, let me just give it a shot with these loops, man. Like, let me just try it. So then after that, I fell in love with making beats. I'm like, damn, like this is cool to express myself, like creatively, like without like pushing the like pen or writing in the phone or whatever. Yeah. So. It was just another way, like another outlet pretty much. So I'm like, it's pretty cool that I can still be creative, but like without just spitting verses all the time, you know what I mean? Just kind of switch it up. Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I said, like I think it's really crucial these days too for independent artists to be able to put on different hats. Like, you know, I mean, you know, everybody wants to be the front man or whatever, the lead guy, the rapper, or whatever, but there's so many other roles to play too and if you're paying people to do those other jobs for you all the time, you're gonna be broke real quick, you know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing, like I can get off the phone now with you, or like even you can get off the phone with me or whatever after this podcast, and like, you know, one of us wants to make a song, boom, like just go to your room or whatever, make the song there. You don't got to worry about nobody. Just it's all on you, bro. Like you're taking a shot, like it's on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I like you seem to have this kind of attitude too of like kind of like, you know, you have to go for it, you have to make it happen, and I like that too. I'm big on that myself. I see a lot of people.
Too, like,
sorry.
Sorry to cut you off, bro, but like, like going back to the law of attraction thing, bro. Like I said, Dr. Dre's like a big influence too, and things like that. And through Twitter, bro, it's powerful. Like, it's a trip how social media works and networking. And I've been following his son Curtis Young for a while, bro. Like, on and off with DM, and I've been trying to get like at first I wanted to do a feature with him. Because it was kind of pricey. I'm not gonna lie. So what I was doing back in the day, but now he's doing beats and stuff like that. And like we had talked on the phone probably at the beginning of the year, but we talked on and off, right? So and this was like maybe like a couple of years back and forth, but nothing too crazy. But like now we'll text or talk or whatever. And like he was down to do a beat or whatever. And like I was more so interested in internship just to get my foot in the door with his son. And like, I mean, that's a big step, bro.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, no, for
real.
real.
And then on top of that, I became cool at Lonzo Ball. I'm not sure if you know who the Ball brothers are in the NBA.
Yeah. That's dope.
So it's there. It's LeVar Ball's nephew. I met him the same way on Twitter. He heard my music. He told me if I wanted to jump on 2 of his songs in October, and hopefully here pretty soon when the off season is. We're supposed to have hopefully a studio session if all goes well with Zoe and them.
That's dope shit. Yo, I'm excited to hear that for you. That's awesome, man. That'll be like big, you know what I mean?
And like people are like, bro, like that's huge, and like it is huge. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna like, I don't know, like I'm just trying to just keep my head down and just stay grinding, bro. Like, I know it's happening, but like I'm acting like as if it didn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just keep pushing, bro. Like I don't care.
Yeah. It's like, but I found this too. Like a couple of the things that I kind of had as goals or whatever. Once you start getting to those, you're already on to the next goal. Like it's kind of funny how like along the path sometimes it's not that it doesn't matter anymore, but it's like. It was what you thought was the end goal, and then you realize, like, you know what, there's so much more past this that I can achieve now that you've got, you know what I mean? So that's a cool thing, and that's really inspiring, I think, for people to hear, too, right?
It's crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can think, it's even like with, like, it could be a phone, or I just recently got a PS5, and, like, I've been wanting it for years, and, like, now I finally got it, I'm like, okay, like, I got it, now what type of thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, too, like, all right, well, it's here now. What's that? What's next?
Yeah, what's next? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that can be a good and a bad thing in ways. Like, it is important, too, to celebrate your successes and stuff and kind of, but, I mean, that's, it's always important as an artist, especially these days, to just keep on that grind, too. You can't rest in your laurels too much, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, would you say like, I mean, you're talking about a collab here. I was going to ask you about dream collabs or anybody like in particular that if you could work with, you think would be best kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I've always thought that I did really good work with, like I'd work well with Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park because he makes music similar to some of mine. You know what I mean? So is there anybody like that for you?
He's a Fort Minor too as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be hard, bro. Like, I used to spit pretty badass back in the day.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I mean, I'm gonna go for like the big dogs, bro. Like, I would say Nipsey, rest in peace to Nipsey.
Yeah.
Or,
Rest in peace, Nipsey.
The Game would be cool, or Russ, or like a Dre or Eminem type of thing too, or even Anderson .Paak. Like, he's from.
That'd be great. Anderson .Paak's really talented, underrated talent, I think.
Like Dr. Dre signed him, bro. We're from the same city.
Nice. Yeah, well, yeah, you're definitely in the right spot for it, you know what I mean? Like, I think one of the issues that some artists in my region have, we're in Canada and the East Coast in a bit of a smaller area, there's not a lot of that kind of industry, big level connect kind of thing, where, you could even, in a big area like California, some part of that does come down to maybe luck, like right place, right time, right? Like, you just happen to run into Russ at the airport. That's kind of a good timing thing. Where we're at, there's way less chance of that even, right? Like, because we're, they're not coming to where we're at, you know what I mean? So there's always like, the location is a big thing, like being in the right spots for your industry, essentially, right? That's, I think, something a lot of people have to keep in mind.
You guys got like what, Bieber, Drake, Party Next Door.
Yeah. We got a couple big ones. We got like, Drake, like you said, and Weeknd, they're big. Man, The Weeknd would be something else to work with him. I can't imagine. I think he's got 96 million monthly listeners on his Spotify or something. I saw the number the other day. Insane, just insane. Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, and something about I've also taken a lot of inspiration from his sound, especially in the last few years. That really reverby kind of like warping sounds, and a lot of the bass end stuff they've been doing is really brilliant. And Drake, I've really come around on Drake. I used to like to make fun of Drake, but that was, I think, more of a meme thing. I think he's the thing about Drake I think that I like most is that he puts other people on. Like, as I've come along in the game, I've really realized the people that I have a lot of respect for are the ones giving other people opportunities and creating opportunities for others. Because Drake's got everything he needs in the music industry. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to do anything, but there's other people that he likes that he can, you know, yeah. And like you said, Nipsey, that's a great one. Like Nipsey, like top 5 most inspiring artists for me would be Nipsey. Like I put on Victory Lap, that album, like a couple times. Like I bump that regularly throughout the year. Whenever I need it to be motivated, I always put his stuff on. He's like top notch for that.
And then Victory Lap is like classic, bro. It's like from start to finish. Like,
Yeah,
can't miss.
100%. No, yeah, I totally. The production on that album is incredible. There's so many good songs on there. You know, you're right though. Totally modern day classic. Like I think in 10 years people will still be bumping that album. Yeah, for real. There's really good shit on that album in terms of like lyrical quality, songwriting, like across the board. Features are great. You know what I mean? There's just not a lot that you can say bad about that thing. Yeah, for reals. And it's funny too. There's different tracks on it that you kind of like grow on you, and certain other ones that like Hustle and Motivate and stuff like that. Those kind of songs are kind of like the first ones you'll hear because they're such big songs. You know, they got the big features and all that stuff, or Dedication or whatever featuring Kendrick, all that stuff. But then like the more I listen to it, some of the deep cuts I'm really liking even more now too. You know what I mean? Like the intro track I actually love. And then like Racks in the middle. Like there's just so many tracks in the middle of that record that kind of like maybe didn't stand out because they didn't have the big name features, but they're still really good. Like that's kind of the neat thing about it too. It's not like all the good shit's the main singles, you know what I mean? Because that's a thing these days too. You get a lot of that.
You know who else I think is like kind of underrated too is I'm not sure if you heard of Blast.
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, man, like that guy, he's hella ill, bro. Like he's from, I want to say he's from LA, bro. Like he's hard, bro.
Oh, okay, I'll have to.
He had a song with Russ called "Fuck Boys."
Okay.
But now he has like 2 songs. He has 2 albums out now. One's called "Before You Go," and the other one's called like "Never Left" or something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, both the albums are hella hard. Production's great.
I'll check them out. Sounds dope. I always like hearing new people that are kind of on the come up or kind of like just getting recognized now. A lot of these dudes, that's the interesting thing too, right? A lot of these people blowing up, they've been around for a while. It's just nobody knew, right? They just had to get the right exposure. And I think there's a lot of talented artists that really just need to be heard by the right people, for real. And then it'll, then they'll have a career out of nowhere kind of thing, Yeah. So, kind of advice do you have for some people that are like just starting out? Do you think like when you first started, if you could tell yourself, from back when you started, what to focus on? What do you think a couple of those things might be?
Man, I would just say like don't get discouraged, bro. Like you're not gonna be like great right away. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just put a brick down the day, and eventually you look back, you're gonna have a foundation. Eventually.
Yeah, it's a great way of wording it too, and I totally agree with that. Like even because I only started rapping 3 years ago, I was writing and stuff for years, and I was like kind of doing melodies and music stuff for quite a while. But the actual rapping itself is something that I've really been able to see in the last 3 years as it kind of comes together. I was so corny and so like no flow to my vocals and stuff when I first started. It was more like spoken word rap, and now I feel like there's a flow. I feel like I've got different approaches I can take in the beats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of feel it in yourself as you evolve, and that's a cool thing.
Exactly, like an evolution, evolving. You kind of just gotta almost mold yourself, dog.
Yeah.
Like, just take different pieces of things you like and life experiences and use it as fuel, bro, and just get on a record and just go crazy.
Yeah, for real. No, yeah.
Like
that's
even with me, bro, like I've been doing it for so long, like now I'm barely starting to see things, bro. Like I've been doing it since probably like 2004 or so. And, like I'm barely like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't stopped since, but just like don't ever stop, bro. Like you just keep pushing and you keep knocking, somebody's gonna answer the door.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, for real. And it's cool that there's like so many different approaches you can take, whether it's like just beat making and trying to produce with other producers and getting on that way, or if it's like just focusing on the lyrics, collabing with people. There's so many like different ways. Like for me, I've taken a lot of my content comes from performing live. I get video of the live show and I post that and chop it up onto the TikToks and all that stuff. And that's really helped me with growing and finding audiences. So it's like kind of neat how there's definitely wrong ways to go about it, but there's a lot of right ways to go about it, I guess, is the way to put it. It's not like there's one way, you know what I mean? Like the path is many, but it leads to the same spots, kind of. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I kind of asked you a bit about like your sound and stuff, and like, you think coming from the West Coast really is a big factor in your sound still, or do you think it was more when you started, and do you think now you're kind of straying away from that, or kind of like tell me the story of a bit about how your sound has evolved?
I'm just saying, I feel like I'm getting better, like lyrically than I did, like little by little every day. I write every day though.
Good.
So it's just like you just got to go in, bro. And like I feel like like the West Coast did play a part. People say like you kind of look like Fat Joe / Big Pun type of thing. And like I've heard that joke so many times, bro. Like it's just what I've heard of me now. It's funny.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I've also heard like some of the verses I get on, like I'm just like in your face, like just raw, like aggressive, just hardcore, like you know what I mean? Like people are like, bro, like that sounds like on some exhibit type shit, like the voice, the delivery, the cadence, like just like the way your voice sounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to copy nobody, like, I'm trying to do my own thing. Like that's just how I sound, bro. Like it's kind of like I don't want to say you're playing a character, but you kind of are. Like it's just like it's like an on and off switch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Boom, like just transform into some fucking monster.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like being larger than life. You know what I mean? It's like not necessarily like a character like you say, but it's like an exaggerated version of yourself almost or something, right? It's like and I think that's always a great way to at least to start that way. And you can always like go really crazy in one direction if you want or whatever, like you say. Sometimes you just want to go off and be really, maybe like for me, if I went really aggressive into a song, a lot of people would probably be like, whoa. You know what I mean? Because I'm more like mellow, chilled rap for the most part. A lot of people might be thrown off by that. But it's also like a good lesson in your own writing ability to be able to try those different styles or try different ways of approaching it and stuff too, right? It's like
later on down the line, you may want to like do that. And people are going to look at you a little sideways. Like, I thought you were just this mellow rapper.
Yeah.
And like now you're coming on crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
So you got to paint a picture different ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, like the worst thing would be to make, like you said, paint the same picture a dozen times. You know what I mean? Like everybody you want different looks, you want different ideas and different sounds and styles. For real. So, like, what would you say some of your like your top moments so far, and maybe like one of your lowest moments in this game has been so far?
Lowest moments, I would say like. Well, like the top ones, like recently had happened was, like Lonzo Ball's cousin, Big Ren. His name's Big Ren's. Like meeting, like we haven't met yet in person, but like we're pretty chill or whatever, like that.
Yeah,
and having the opportunity to work with him on 2 songs and hopefully get this studio session with Lonzo and him once he's on his off season or whatever. And, and then hopefully this internship goes through, like it's all a process, you know what I mean? So hopefully that goes through. And like the lowest thing, I'm not sure if I really had a low yet like that. If I did, like it's like whatever, like I just kind of like brushed it off if there was a low. Like I just I just kind of just like tunnel vision, just like if anything did like happen, I really like it was whatever to me. I didn't really see anything like that. I know like back in the day, like when I was younger, like we were kind of like struggling or whatever, so I had to like sling like my turntables and stuff to help out. Yeah. And like I had like saved up a lot of money for that, and now like I have my own little setup, and I'm not a DJ no more, but I feel like I had to go through that to get to this point, you know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for me, one of my lower moments was like I had a computer that had a whole bunch of unfinished, I should say, songs, bunch of beats, bunch of stems, and that thing, the hard drive on it tanked one day or something. I don't know what happened to it, but I left the laptop open overnight, I think, and it just overnight at one point it exploded or something. But I lost a whole bunch of the stuff that was like, I mean like pages of lyrics and tons of beats and stems attached to it. So I have like some of the MP3s of some, like I managed to scavenge some of it back. I got a couple MP3s of some of the beats, but no stems, stuff like that. So that was a pretty depressing time, just because it was like, man, all that work and stuff will never see the light of day. And ultimately, though, that's kind of a good thing too, anyway, because it was like a rougher state of my music anyway. It's actually kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of sometimes good to cut some of those things, especially with old lyrics. Like you said, I write every day too, and I think it's really good for lyricists and writers to write a bit every day, even if it's a line or two. Just keep that muscle flexed. But it does suck to lose all those old lyrics and stuff and go like, man, there's a couple good hooks in there. There's a couple good verses in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is. For sure. Yeah. So, like, what are some things you want to, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, what's the future look like for Biggz?
But it's like domination, bro.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, on the way
I don't
up.
know. I want to be successful, but like still like making an impact, like not even like with music, bro. Like just like in general, like life, helping people out.
Yeah,
Like
me
I
too.
like even like as far as like my job, like I used to work at a hospital. And, like I would write verses in between patients, like psych patients I would see in the emergency room or ICU unit, COVID unit, and stuff like that. So music's always like been there, like it's never left me, and like it's just always been there. So like if I make a song or something, if it impacts one person, then like I did my job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if it changes one person, or even if it's not music, or just like helping them out, or I'm not sure if like on Twitter you see like the like mental health check, like how you feeling or whatever. People respond or whatever. Like you just kind of check in, and like sometimes there's highs and lows with the music shit, bro. Like to be real,
Yep.
it's like damn, like you're putting all this work in, like no one's really. I mean, you're not gonna do it for like the points, bro. Like it's more of the love of the game, but you still kind of want a little bit of like, oh, that shit's hard or whatever. You think it's hard as hell. And
Yeah.
no one's really fucking with you. Like, fuck, I thought this would be it, or this would be it, or whatever. But I mean, it's all good, bro. Like you just gotta keep throwing things out there, and throwing things at the wall, and something's gonna stick eventually.
That's some of my conversation with Biggz, who you can find on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much any platform, TikTok, you name it. Biggz is all over the place on the internet, putting out his rapping, his production, hustle, and good spirited, good energy to the people. So make sure you follow him on all the platforms that you frequent, and leave some love for him in the comments or on a post or whatever. All right. Shout out to Biggz. Thanks for joining me on the show. This is episode 1 of season 2 of the Chasing Planes podcast. I'm your host, BraedenV. We got a lot more coming this year, guys. So keep inspired, keep working, keep grinding. We'll see you guys soon.